Hey everybody, coming to you live from my kitchen. I am putting together a Rockcrok Roast, and I talk about this a lot at my parties, but I don't think I've ever shown you specifically how I do this. So since it was on the menu for tonight, I thought that I would share. So I have my Rockcrok Dutch oven heating up on the stove top because I want to get it nice and hot before I put the roast in to sear it. Let me set this down, show you a little bit. Hey Heidi. I've got my roast already in a package. Now it was partly because it was a huge roast. It was over 7 pounds. So I cut it in half and I salted it a couple days ago, and it's been sitting in the fridge. I did quite a lot of salt to help break down the roast a little bit, make it even more tender as it cooks. And I'm just going to slide that into the pan. All right. Now, what I want to do is get every side kind of evenly browned. Now, in addition, I have started, I'm switching directions on you here, adding my onion into the pot as well. Usually I would just throw it on top before it goes into the slow cooker base. But what I'll do here is show you a little bit of knife skills, because I just gave one of these as a gift, a 5-inch Santoku knife. So similar to our large chef's knife, you want to kind of pinch grip on it. And anytime you're cutting, get the knife to the board first and then crank down on that handle so that it's a lot more stable and it goes in straight and where you want it to be. And then I'll just continue to kind of chop up the onion just a little bit smaller so that it will spread out as it's cooking. So I also have my garlic peeled here. All of this I'm going to put into the Rockcrok on the stovetop so those onions can saute a little bit rather than just cooking with the slow cooker. So let me grab some tongs, and we just need about a minute or less even on each side of that roast, so I'll give it a turn. In the meantime, I'm going to show you a few other things that I have already set up. First is, in here I have a 1/4 cup of soy sauce and then 3/4 cup of water, because I like to make au jus as my roast is cooking. So rather than just mixing that up at the end with some pre-made mix, I do that. I also have 3 bouillon cubes laid out and ready. I have my rosemary herb. I have a little bit already in the liquid, and then I have a 1.5 tablespoons that's waiting to go onto the roast. So let's continue to sear this. It gets a little tricky if you want to do the ends. You might need to just hold it there or kind of prop it up in the pan if you have other things going on. But this is truly one of the things that I love about the Rockcrok, is that you can sear the roast here and then just move it into the slow cooker base for the hours of cooking. Now, as you can tell, it is already 1:20 in the afternoon. So my plan, let me get this turned, woo! My plan is to just put it on high rather than on the low setting. If I were doing this at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would put it on the low setting and let it cook for 8-9 hours. But when it cooks on high, it'll be great at 5-6 o'clock tonight. Should be ready to go. So we're just about done. Now, one thing I did want to point out about the Rockcrok is, notice that it's still okay for me to handle the handles when it's cooking stovetop. Most of the heat is down here on the base. Since there's no metal in the Rockcrok, it's not going to move that heat up to the handles. But if I had soup all the way up to the top, which I do love this for potato soup, or even my small batches of tortilla soup, I'll make them in here, then you would want to grab some protection. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And move this over here. All right, so super easy from here. We're just dumping in that liquid, adding the rosemary seasoning, putting the lid in place. Whoops, and I've got it on high. So that's it. It should be ready. Like I said, about 5:30. This will be falling apart and should be delicious. Hope you learned something today and have a great day.